want to title this video is the one thing you do not need to know to care for your curly hair, and the 3 things you absolutely need to know to care for your curly hair. Now, I don't know if YouTube's gonna let me create a title that long. We'll see. Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by today. So today we're going to be talking curly hair tips. Now before we get into that, hair details, you might be wondering what is going on with this mess up here. Well, I am filming this in April. We are definitely in the shower season. It has been raining literally non-stop for days now, and I just cannot get this hair to not frizz. And so what do? Embrace it. So yes, I decided to just create a hairstyle off of this crazy frizzy hair. I think I'm on day 3 here, and it's like every day I've just been refreshing it more than I normally do. Like today I literally like re-wet all the curls and reapplied product, and it still ended up looking a hot mess. So I decided to just do 2 little flat twists up front and let the rest of it just do its thing. Anyways, moving on to today's topic, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a blog post that I wrote about a year ago or over a year ago at this point. The one thing that you do not need to know, even though you probably hear a lot about it in the curly hair community, you do not need to know this to care for your curls. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then I'm going to share with you guys what I think you should know that are going to help you to care for your curls. Now, how do I start? So to begin, this thing has been talked about. It's like everywhere. In my opinion, I feel like it's going out of style. I think as more naturals learn about hair, their hair, curly hair, we just begin to dismiss this idea a little bit. What I'm talking about is curl typing. Yes, curl typing. What that means is, for those of you that don't know, is categorizing curls based on your curl pattern. So it's basically categorizing hair into a number letter combination / category. So straight hair is categorized as type 1, and then curly / coily hair is categorized anywhere from 2A to 4C. I just want to start off by saying I do not believe that knowing your curl type is going to help you care for your curls. But what I can say about it is that it's helpful in helping us to visualize what your curls look like. But it's not going to help you understand your hair enough to be able to know what products to buy for it, to know what routine to have in place to care for it. What you want to know about your hair are as follows. The first thing is your hair porosity. Your hair's porosity is your hair's ability to absorb and maintain moisture. Porosity is categorized into low, normal, or high. There's various tests that you can take to determine your hair's porosity. One of the most popular ones is the water test, where you basically take clean strands of hair and just gently place them inside of a bowl or cup of water. You don't have to press it down or push it into the water, just place it on the water. Let the hair stay or sit in the water for a few minutes, and when you return, if the hair is floating at the top, that means you have low porosity hair. If it's somewhere in the middle, you have normal porosity, and if it's all the way at the bottom, then you have high porosity hair. So the porosity just basically means how well your hair absorbs and maintains moisture. So if it's all at the bottom, that means your hair was able to quickly absorb that water, therefore it became heavy and sunk. If it's at the top, it means that it was having some difficulties with absorbing the water, and that's why it stayed at the top. So The reason why knowing this is going to be important is because it's going to help you to determine what routines to use on your hair and what products and in what order to apply your products. So someone with low porosity hair, for instance, is going to have a difficult time with adding moisture to their hair. So one technique that you can use to help with that is to deep condition and add heat. You can use body heat by using either a plastic cap, conditioning cap, a hot head, or by sitting under a hooded dryer or steamer. All those methods are going to give your hair heat. Using heat in those methods that I explained are really going to allow the cuticles to open up a bit so that the moisture from the product you're applying on your hair can get inside. Now, on the opposite end, our high porosity curl friends are going to have a difficult time with retaining moisture. So their hair easily takes in moisture, but just as easily it goes in, it easily goes out. So we need to figure out how to retain that moisture. And the best thing to do is to seal your moisturizing products with oils. So oils are a great way to seal in moisture. So after applying your leave-ins, your creams, you would then top it with a sealant or an oil. And our curly brothers and sisters who have normal porosity, well, you guys have the best of both worlds. Moving on, the next thing you need to know to help you care for your curly hair is your hair density. Now, your hair density basically will tell you how many strands, individual strands of hair you have on your head. So the most accurate way to determine your hair density is to take 1 square inch of hair, like a patch, 1 square inch of hair on your head, and count every single strand of hair in that square inch. Now, ain't nobody got time for that, so I'm gonna give you guys a different way to determine your hair density. It's super simple. All you have to do is just make a part and examine that part. Now, if the part is pretty wide, there's a lot of space in between the part, then you have low density hair. If it's not too wide, not too slim, then you have medium density hair. If the line is thin or not very visible, then you have high density hair. Now, the reason why it's important to know your hair density is because it's going to help you determine how much product you need to apply to your hair. It's also going to help you with knowing how to apply your products. For instance, somebody who has high density hair, they have a lot of hair on their head. So it's probably best if they make sections when applying product to their hair, as opposed to someone with low density can probably get away with just applying product to their entire head all at one time or into 2 parts. And the third thing that I think you need to know to help you care for your curly hair is going to be your hair width. So you're wondering, what is hair width? Basically, hair width is the size of one strand of hair, the circumference of your hair. So hair width is categorized into fine, medium, and coarse. So it's interesting because back in the day, before I would say this natural curly hair movement began, when you would think of someone with fine hair, you would probably think of somebody who has very, very straight hair, soft, straight hair. And when you think of someone with coarse hair, you probably would think of somebody with lots of kinky, coily hair. And now that we're learning more about our hair, it's kind of interesting to know that fine hair doesn't necessarily mean you have straight hair. Fine hair actually means that your hair is thin. It's super thin. And someone with coily, kinky hair, afro hair, can have fine hair. And someone with very straight, pin straight hair can have coarse hair. I think that's a very interesting concept to think about. So the way that you can tell if you have fine, medium, or coarse hair, again, there's different ways that you can figure this out, but one of the ways is if you just take a strand of hair and hold it to the light. If it's hard to see that hair, it's super faint, then you have fine hair. If it's thick and it's easily visible, then you have coarse hair. If it's somewhere in the middle, then you have medium width hair. Why is this important? Why do we need to know the width of our hair? Well, think about it. If something is thin, it probably breaks easier than something that's thicker. So if you've identified that you have fine hair, then you have to be very careful with how you're manipulating your hair, and also the type of products you're putting in your hair. You have to be very careful with the type of styles you do, and making sure that they're not too high maintenance or highly complex. You know, just try and do more simple styles. Less manipulation to your hair is going to be best. As well, you might want to consider doing protein treatments, because protein in products are going to help to strengthen your hair strands. So that would be something you'd want to look into. And if you've identified that you have coarse hair, then you know that you can probably experiment with hairstyles a little bit more. You're probably going to need heavier products that will really hold those strands together better. Going back to the whole curl typing again, I don't necessarily like to curl type, because honestly for me sometimes I feel like depending on what day you catch my hair or my curls, I may look like a 3C, 3A. It's all over the place. Like for instance, the crown of my hair, the curls are looser. They can possibly be in the 3A category, where the hair closer to my hairline are more coily, so they could probably be in the 3B family. But again, if I'm telling you that information, it's only really to give you a visual of what my hair looks like. It's not gonna tell you or help you understand what products I use in my hair. For the 3 categories, I fall into the following. So porosity, I am low porosity. For density, I am medium density hair. And for width, I have a little twist. I'm both fine and medium width hair. I always thought I had fine hair once I understood what porosity, density, and width meant. I originally thought I had only fine hair, but one day I examined 2 shed hairs, and one was fine and one was a little bit thicker than the fine hair. So I was like, okay, I have a combination of fine and medium width hair, which is very interesting to me. I still identify myself more on the fine side because my hair can tend to be a little bit susceptible to breakage. So I do typically classify myself with fine hair. I have found strands that are a little bit thicker than others, so that was very interesting. Anyways guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I'm curious now to know what your hair is in terms of porosity, width, and density. So do me a favor and leave me your combo below. And before you go, don't forget to like the video so I know that you like this kind of content, and subscribe. Of course, subscribe, because if you don't, then you're gonna miss out on next week's video. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.